Minister, last October, and just to put it on the record, this is before the war in Ukraine, just to bring it back to your own record, I asked you to reduce the fuel prices and your taxes back to your 2020 intake. So at the cost the fuel was coming into this country in 2020, and I do understand the country needs tax to run the country, I do understand that. But your tax that you have taken in here is 51% in petrol and is a 44% in diesel. My job and your job is to protect the people here in Ireland. And the fastest way of protecting the people here in Ireland is for you to reduce the tax, which is locking a price on fuel, and after that we will pay the increase in the fuel cost, but we won't pay tax on the increase in fuel. That will benefit the farmer, the haulage contractor, every sector in this country. And you mentioned a while ago there's 2.5 million people working in this country. I'm talking about tax. You're taxing every single person, not only on fuel, but now the escalating costs have gone in producing food because the tax on fuel. It's the tax I'm talking about here. And yes, we do know that there is an increase in demand for materials that are not there. Wheat is going up by 67%. And we're asking the people in Ireland to grow wheat, barley, everything here, and they're being taxed at source. So the only answer here is take your 51% tax at 2020 prices. And that automatically goes into every household, in home heating oil, in fuel to run your car, in reducing transport costs. It hits everyone across the board, and it reduces cost. I have silage contractors here at the moment are saying to me, now they're in other countries, they're giving them 20% off the price of agri-diesel so they can try and go to the farmers at the moment to bring in the crops so we can have reasonable price food. 140 a litre for green diesel for doing crops. From 47 cents a litre last year, 140. So that means the price of milk is going up. Every household is going to go up. So what I'm talking about is I want you take your 51% tax at 2020 prices on fuel, and you will impact every single house, every person, whether you're employed or not employed. It impacts fuel in it because you're reducing the tax. That's all I'm asking you to do on one sector, and you will help every family and every person in this country.
So the Deputy made reference there to a number of really important sectors within our economy and our society. He made reference to where we are with the haulage sector. He made reference to the pressures that our farmers are facing at the moment. But the government has responded back to each of those sectors in the last number of weeks, Deputy. Not only did we bring forward an excise reduction, and we brought forward an excise reduction because this is that is a tax reduction and change that helps the business sector, unlike the proposal that you're making in relation to VAT. It helps the business sector. And we did that because if we look at the challenges the haulage sector is facing, we know the rising cost of fuel is affecting the viability, the ability of many of them to move goods around our country. So not only did we act in that way, but then government also brought forward measures to make additional payments available to haulage companies, depending on how many trucks they have, to help them further with the challenges that they're facing. In relation to our farmers and the challenges they're facing, which again the government knows is fundamental, not just to our economy but to the price of food. That's why Minister McConalogue secured agreement in Cabinet on Tuesday to bring forward the set of measures to help our tillage farmers to respond back to the challenges that are there. So again, while we cannot do all that you want us to do and all that many of us want to do, Deputy, what we are doing is trying to help each part of our economy in a way that we're confident that we can afford for as long as we need to respond back to the cost of living challenges that people are facing and to respond back to new challenges that we may have to deal with as the year goes on. But Deputy, again, all the measures the government has put in place across the year between our budget day measures and what we've just done, are around €1.9 billion worth of measures. And they are measures which are contributing to the cost of fuel, which is going up, we know, but it's going up by less than it would if the government haven't acted. We are acting and bringing forward measures to help with the cost of energy, the cost of living for those who are at risk of energy poverty. And these are measures which are in their scale in how quickly we've tried to implement them. You know, compare very, very favourably to measures that have been implemented elsewhere at the moment as other governments respond back to the challenges that are facing. So what we will do, Deputy O'Donoghue, is we will do our best. We'll do our best to help. We will do our best to respond back to the issues that businesses, that families, that commuters are facing at the moment. But equally, we just again want to be honest and clear that while we can help, we cannot cover these costs in their entirety. And the government has, week by week, brought forward those measures to help.
Minister, I'm talking about going into every household in this country. You do what I've asked you to do on 2020 costs and you reduce. You said the cost of fuel has gone up, but you still have 51% on that. That's for every household. It's 51%. No matter what way you look at it, it's 51% tax. So you go back to your 2020 prices and you take your 51% tax, you're going into 2.5 million people that you said are working in this country. Cost them 50 to 60 euros more to fuel their car, 1,300 euros a year more to put on the lights in their house. You're after bringing in a retrofit system that is outdated because the cost of materials have gone through the roof. So it doesn't even justify the grant system that you're putting in because the grant is neutralised with the cost of material going up. This is one thing you can do, and you will go into every household. It will help their groceries, help get people to school, help get people to work. It's 40 to 50 euros a week. Once you do that one thing on fuel, you will improve quality of life for everyone, elderly, young people, everyone in this country, and the vulnerable.
Deputy Donoghue, how much would that cost?
51% tax in the 2020 prices is enough. It was enough for you to run the government.
How much would it cost?
It was enough. How much would it cost? You've 9.6 billion on carbon tax between here and 2030. You've asked me the question, Chair.
Just asking him a simple question, which the Deputy clearly doesn't have the
I have the answers.
He's asking him, he's bringing forward, how much would it cost, Deputy?
I have the answer from your manifesto 2016. You said in this country to everyone that you get rid of the USE charge.
Minister, are you
Isn't that one cost that you could get rid of today if you follow through on your promises?
Minister, are you giving your time to the Deputy?
We're in a very different world to where we were in 2016.
Are you?
The Deputy is bringing forward a proposal. He doesn't even know the cost.
I have the cost, but I'm not allowed to answer.
He doesn't know the cost.
I'm not allowed to answer.
Deputy O'Donoghue, just because I don't shout doesn't mean I don't care.
Oh my God.
What we have is a government that continues to bring forward measures that we believe can help, can make a difference. Unlike you, we have to know the cost of what we're doing. We have to be confident we can afford it. We have to be able to be confident we can sustain it while these pressures are building.
51% tax on everyone in this country. You should be ashamed of yourself on fuel alone.
That completes leaders' questions. Thank you very much.